Yes, it is. All right. Cool. All right. So we'll wait a little bit. Um, David, this is a live yet or?
Yeah, it's live on YouTube, not on Facebook,
All right. Cool.
because I can't do both things at once. Like I had to. No one ever really goes to the YouTube. Most people go to the Facebook, but the
Right.
YouTube is kind of like public, so everyone can
Right.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't need an account, so I just went ahead and hit stream on that one, and the Facebook one I'm waiting on.
Got it.
And let me see if I can. There we go. Can you repeat that again, Rex? You were muted for a second.
It looks like it works pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You sound clear. Everything seems good. I prefer this to being out in the public, but
Rex, what's your last name? Rex, what's your last name?
Oh, Allen, Allen.
Allen. Gotcha. So just for the sake of the meeting, I changed your name to just Rex Allen.
Okay.
Um,
cool. All right. And Rex, were you able to log in and check out the trainings that I sent you and your email?
Yeah, finished them.
Okay, great. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
I wrote to what's her name?
Vanessa?
No, was it Michelle?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let her know, and I think she said she was gonna send them in.
Okay, sounds good. Perfect.
Christian, I went ahead and made you co-host, I think.
All right.
No, not yet.
Thanks. All right, David, and actually, oh, it's pretty good. Let's see here. Look at these options.
I thought I let Michelle in, and she did not populate.
Okay, we'll wait a little bit.
There she is.
Yeah. Hi, Michelle.
You're muted, just so you know. There you are.
How's that?
Better.
Perfect.
Yay!
How you doing, Michelle?
How's everyone?
Good.
Hello.
George.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go live on Facebook, Christian.
All right.
You don't have to start till 7. It's just that way I can stop.
Yeah. Sounds good. I'll share the agenda on my screen.
Great. I'm gonna step aside for a second. I'll be right back.
All right.
There it is. It's live.
Here we go. Well, it says recording paused, but it's still live. That's cool. All right. We'll get started at 7 if anyone's logging in through the Facebook. This is an executive committee meeting where we discuss all the main things that are going to be on the general board meeting. This is our first public meeting in a while since the coronavirus pandemic. Yeah, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Thoughts about anything?
How are you?
Good. COVID stories. Anybody?
Shopping stinks.
Oh, big time. Big time.
How you doing, Michelle? Doing all right?
No.
Are you
I'm
more
so
mobile
much.
now?
I am. I left the house like 2 weeks ago. Physical therapy at Kaiser. So it feels good to be mobile.
Awesome. All right. So let me try to share my screen.
How about you guys? Is everybody well?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing well.
Everybody's well. Family's all well. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So we'll wait for 7 o'clock. Let me see if anyone's waiting. We do. So let me do that. So I think Kathleen Bloom is joining us. There we go.
Can we also see you and your screen, or one or the other?
I'm not sure.
There
I think
is
Yeah,
you.
you can change your viewpoints. I can see Christian and also the.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do I have to change my view?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
I think so.
Yeah.
Hi, Kathy.
She can't hear yet. It's connecting to the audio. There it goes.
There we go. Hi, Kathy.
We're trying to figure this out.
Oh,
It'll just take a minute.
It's okay. We can hear you good.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there you are. Hey,
How are you?
the beauty of nature. Great.
So how
right.
are you guys doing?
Good.
Good. Uh-oh.
We got kicked off.
Wait. Put
Uh,
the, shut the door, hon. Okay. That's what you get at home.
Yeah, I've had a few meetings at home and heard some background noises.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens. All right. Cool. So it is 7 o'clock. Actually, one more minute. But so again, I'll mention we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So that if anyone in the public wants to call in, they can dial the number listed on the agenda to join, and they just have to enter this webinar ID and press this. And then if they want to speak during the public comment portion, they just have to press *9, and that will indicate the raising of the hand. 1 second. David, can you monitor the waiting room?
Yeah.
All right, cool. There's a function for everyone where you can raise your hand.
Everyone's frozen. I don't like that. Reasons.
So I believe you do that by clicking on participants on your screen where it says participants, and I think there's an option to raise your hand. So can someone try using the raise your hand option for me?
It's not giving that option. I have mute.
Okay, how about that?
Okay, let's see. Andres, Rex. Okay.
Yeah, you just click on the name, then it gives you options in a pop-up.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, now it shows up.
Okay. Perfect. Michelle did it. Great. Okay. So yeah. And then I have the ability to lower your hands as well, just to keep track of who's speaking and whatnot. Okay. So we're here. First meeting, public meeting in a while. We're the first thing on our agenda. Well, here, let me officially call the meeting to order. This is the first part of our agenda where we're just testing the Zoom meeting platform and allowing for board members to make any comments about maybe what they've heard or maybe some questions that they have, because we haven't been able to meet, and so there are a couple of things that the neighborhood council has done through more individual actions. So if someone had an idea and they kind of rolled with it, that's how things have been getting done through the neighborhood council. I'm gonna go ahead and just do item 4, and then I'll come back to item 2 to allow people to make any comments that they have. So for the first thing that we did when we heard about the coronavirus pandemic was obviously we canceled our meetings before the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment canceled all neighborhood council meetings. And there was a point in time where in March and April, the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment was considering allowing for virtual meetings, but they didn't have any protocol to make that happen. And so then the city attorney said, well, you can probably meet virtually, but, you know, done is the ultimate authority at the end of the day. And so some neighborhood councils met, but any actions that they took, the department was unable to accept them as valid. So I decided, instead of trying to, go through all this work and then not have anything validated, I thought, let's just wait it out. Let's wait for the policies to come out, and then we can test our systems. And so um, the good thing is that I was given emergency authority for $5,000 to use, and Brielle, who's our homeless committee chair, had a great idea to use it for a nonprofit in Sylmar that was doing food distribution. And so it was very quick. We decided to give them $2,500. Kathy Bloom quickly made the credit card purchase, because they kind of relaxed some of the ways that we donate to organizations, and they've been distributing food ever since, even through tragedy, where they had a volunteer who tragically was in an accident during one of the um, food drives, but they kept on pushing. So Brielle, I know you've been there volunteering yourself. I don't know if you want to just give a few words about how Valley Hunger Relief has been doing.
Thanks, Christian. Yeah, I'll actually be there tomorrow morning if anyone's available at 6:30 and has their mask and wants to help fill some boxes and pass out food. It's been really great to see people in need in our community get food, and they've just been doing great work. And our Sylmar stickers were in the last box, as well as our magnets. So it's also a way for people who might not have heard about us to learn about us.
Awesome. And then another opportunity that Donald Zelaya and I worked on was, there was an organization that was partnering people who would buy produce directly from farmers, kind of like a volunteer delivery service. And so we promoted that on Facebook a couple of times, and we ended up delivering produce to about 25 households, and a couple of boxes were donated to families in need through that. I was happy to make those deliveries with my good friend, Donald. And we made those deliveries, and we donated the boxes to 2 families in need that we felt needed it. We didn't feel that it was something that we would keep doing, just because there, the deliveries were going to households that really could afford it, we felt. Um, so the donation to delivery ratio, I felt that we were delivering kind of something that Instacart or Uber Eats can provide without not enough donation to back it up. So we kind of pulled out from that, but we decided to give it a shot to see how it worked. And then I know Andres, David, and Donald were working with Assemblywoman Luz Rivas's office to collect PPE supplies for all of you hospital. So Andres, I don't know if you want to give any words about how that effort went.
Yeah, I think we were going to strategize to give them some money too, so they can buy their personal preparedness equipment also too. It was a good collaboration with one of our Assemblywomen, Luz Rivas. I know Brenda reached out. That was kind of one of the things that we wanted to see if we can get back to our local hospital, All of You Hospital Center. So we established a drop off at the All of You Hospital, and then we established a drop off at Sylmar office. We didn't get any drop-offs at the neighborhood council office. I know there were a couple of times, and then we did a video, which we got some good feedback from that video, and also shared by Luz Rivas. So for the most part, I think we joining efforts with an assemblywoman and with a good effort. I think that was really good for our neighborhood.
Awesome. And I know many of you may have done other individual efforts. If you want to just send them over to me, so that we can just kind of create a list of any individual things that you have done, just so that we know what's happening, and how else we can help our community. And this meeting serves as a way to think about some ideas as well, so that when our May 28th general board meeting comes, we can right away vote on a couple of items to support our community. With that, I'll go back to item 2 to test our Zoom meeting platform again. Just let board members make any comments. If you have any comments that you'd like to make, just raise your hand on the Zoom platform. And for now, let me see who has joined us. I see Roxanne. Hi, Roxanne. How you doing? Let's see. I think I saw Chad. What's up, Chad? How you doing? Awesome, awesome. Cool. So people are calling in. Once again, the public is allowed to call in, dialing that phone number and typing in the ID. Does any board member have any comments that they'd like to make about anything coronavirus related or any questions that they have? All right.
So, is everybody that's on here is supposed to be on the screen? I don't see everybody right now.
Oh, yeah.
With
Maybe,
screen share, you can't do all the people.
yeah, there's certain ways that you can see it, George. David will help you out. All right. With that, I'll move on to item 3, public comment. If there's anyone, I see a phone number. If there's anyone that would like to make a public comment, they can do so by dialing *9. And if they dial *9, that indicates to us via Zoom that they would like to raise their hand. And then from there, we can do a public comment. So I'll let that kind of stay in the airwaves for a little bit. *9. In the meantime, board members, do me a favor and test the raise hand function on Zoom so that I can see. Okay, Andres has his hand raised. Michelle, Rex. Okay, we're gonna have to help George.
How do you?
If you go on participants, there should be a button that says participants, and then you see your name. I believe if you hover over your name, you can press raise hand, lower hand. Okay, Brielle's got it. Chad's got it. Roxanne's got it.
Oops. Yeah, so George, if you want to hover over your name under participants.
Well, I hovered over it and I pushed the button and it disappeared. Everybody's name disappeared.
Oh, okay.
Hit participants one more time. It should reappear.
If you're on a computer, it's not, you don't hover over the name. It's down in the bottom right corner under the participant list.
Oh, okay. I
What's that?
see. At the bottom, it should say raise hand at the bottom.
I don't see any raise hand deal.
All right, that's okay. We'll help George out a little later. All right, so I'm gonna lower your hands so that I can see as a chair. I can just lower hands. That's cool. All right, cool. So let's move on then to, let me just clear this. All right, so let's move on to item 5 because I did not see any public comment, and David is also monitoring as well. So just gonna give a quick update on the Sylmar Neighborhood Council budget. So every year, every neighborhood council, and there's 99 neighborhood councils, receive $42,000 in annual funds. And the main purpose of those $42,000 is to inform the community of what the city of LA is doing, essentially. Them the opportunity to make public input. Now, in order to facilitate not only our own meetings, but any organizations in our community that need a meeting space. And that way we build connections that way. Some neighborhood councils throw huge events in order to bring people together. Some neighborhood councils throw a lot of town halls, etc. So our budget, $42,000. We were allowed to roll over, I believe, around $7,000 from the previous year. Because neighborhood councils are allowed to roll over $10,000 from year to year. Now this year, obviously a lot of our events were canceled. We had a Make Your Horse Count event that was going to be about it was actually gonna probably be this weekend if if this wasn't happening, and that was about $5,000 that we were gonna spend, and we had a bunch of outreach events scattered throughout, and we all that is obviously not gonna happen, um, but now we have an opportunity to use our funds to assist in the coronavirus effort. Now, with that same context, um, the city of LA is facing huge budget cuts. Um, we have city employees that are going to take 10% salary cuts. And the mayor is proposing to cut the neighborhood council system as a whole by 25%. So a 25% cut means that each neighborhood council, because there's 99 to 100, will take a $10,000 cut, which means we'll go down to $32,000 the upcoming year. Um, it's a tough battle to fight, because although a lot of what we do is helping the community directly, we're also seeing other areas in the city that are getting cut as well. Um, right now, we have about $12,000 for this fiscal year that we need to decide how to spend. Now we don't have to spend all the 12,000 because again, $10,000 can be rolled over from one fiscal year to the next. So essentially, if you have a good idea, or if anyone has a good idea on how to spend the money, then we'll consider the good idea. But we're not just going to spend money willy nilly, right? So the 10,000 rollover would make us whole in a sense, because we would have the full 42,000 at the beginning of the fiscal year, July 1st. Or we can try to assist great causes right away. So like I said, I'm open to ideas, and that's why we'll move straight into item 6. Actually, let me pause. If there's any questions to what I said, I'll entertain them now. It looks like Andres has his hand raised.
Well, I didn't have a question. I already had a great idea.
Go for it.
Okay. So I know we've been working with Fire Station 91. I know David and I and all of us already had some events planned and things like that prior to COVID. And I believe we've been to the station many times. And they're underappreciated. They have a lot of things that they're working on. I know even they've been working on their front laws. They usually have that May event. Also, they've been supporting their frontline responders, and also they can also give back to the community. So we have a great relationship with them, and I think it'd be a great opportunity to fund their nonprofit. Specifically, we can earmark that fund to them so that the fire station gets all that money. Be that as it may, what we think, $5,000, $3,000, so they can finish repairing their equipment, and also too, getting their own personal PPE and also whatever they can generate. Because I can go down the list. I know David can concur. They have mattresses that are old. They have old equipment. They have, we've been working with small businesses that were supporting and donating and giving back. But I think one of our mottos as our Sylmar Neighborhood Council, when we first met, one of our biggest thing was to, one, support and also advocate for a second fire station. But I think let's with this money and with that emergency funds or whatever we love, this would be a perfect opportunity to give back and showcase our one fire station, and also to the lack of stuff that they don't have.
Cool. So yes, we've been doing a lot of work with the fire station, so I concur. One neighborhood that directly supported their fire station was Panorama City. So Panorama City has been they directly donated to the Los Angeles Fire Foundation, and it was pretty successful. So I'll keep that one in mind. I'll put it down on my list. Anyone else have any Okay, if not,
I agree with Andres. I support Andres' suggestion.
Awesome. Thank you. And don't worry if you don't have one now. this pandemic's gonna affect us for a long time. And so some ideas that I believe Donald brought up was kind of having like a micro, not necessarily a grant, but just like a micro support system for restaurants or local businesses in our community, where we kind of spend $100, $200, but it's not really about the money. It's more about telling people, hey, we're giving out tacos to from this local restaurant. Come on down, try them out, and then that way they kind of get a lifelong, they remember the local restaurant, because one of the things that we had even pre-coronavirus was that a lot of our community kind of tends to shop outside of our community. And so this is a good way to kind of tell them to, hey, try your local businesses, because your local businesses have good food and they're definitely worth trying. So that was a good idea that he suggested. Anyone else? All right, so just keep brainstorming your ideas, because I'm open to all of them. I didn't want to just, use all the emergency funds and, use them incorrectly. So, all right. Yes, I see Roxanne has her hand up.
I was just going to ask, and I might have missed the first couple minutes. We know that we have a lot of cases here in Sylmar.
Yeah.
Number one in the valley. I don't know why, but I've been following it. And I'm starting to come across people who not only have been directly affected financially because of their work, but directed because they actually have the virus themselves. I'm hearing stories about 12-year-old girls taking care of 5 and 3-year-old siblings by themselves, preparing meals, everything because the parents have it. So thankfully, those families are not here in Sylmar, but they are in the Panorama City area. And I just wanted to kind of keep that open, or I'm going to keep my ears out for families that we know that are here in Sylmar that are being directly affected by the virus itself.
Yes.
Would be something I'd like to keep in mind.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, any individual effort that you can put in terms of, thinking about needy families, because what happens sometimes is we get nonprofits that tell us, hey, we have this resource, but we don't know the people on the ground in the community. And so we're stuck trying to figure out, okay, how do I just randomly pick a needy family? You know what I mean? I can't do that. And so if you all kind of develop a list or kind of think of people that that are struggling, yeah, that's perfect. We can just have kind of something to go off of. Andres, you have your hand raised?
Yeah, no, just to add to the comment was Sylmar has a lot of COVID in the valley. There is on that little report when it comes out from LA, there's an asterisk. If you follow the asterisk to the bottom, it's because we have a juvenile detention center. So it might placate to that is why we're so high, is because it's the juvenile detention center that they're also reporting from there.
Right.
I did not know that. Thank you. What did you say? The mailer normally comes in the mail and then you follow the
No. The LA County Public Health Department, I post it, or some of us post it sometimes on this neighborhood council Facebook page where they announce the daily briefings or the daily counts of coronavirus. When you click on the picture that has Sylmar's numbers, there's a little asterisk next to it, and you just have to scroll down. Yeah. So I think it's LA County's main Facebook page.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And so I see a lot more people dialing in. So I'm gonna, if anyone has something that they'd like to say, they can press *9 on your phone. And if you press *9, our Vice President of Communications, David, will unmute you and he'll call your last 4 digits of your phone number, and you can go ahead and speak. And I think we'll do like a minute or two to allow the public to speak. So does anybody want to make a public comment? *9. You press *9 on your phone. Did you find someone, David?
I don't know if you have it on mute, David.
David? Okay, so I have someone with a 0181 number. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you, and you have a minute to speak. Okay, you're unmuted with 0181.
Hi, everyone. My name is Araxia. I'm the Director of Youth Services for PASA. We've actually submitted a NPG grant for you all to consider, and I just wanted to point that out. We'd appreciate if you can place that on your agenda for future meetings, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have about it then. Thank you.
Thank you to Araxia. She was actually my classmate at USC. We graduated together.
Oh, Araxia.
So Araxia, thank you for calling in. She represents TESA, which is an organization that works with youth, and they did submit an MPG. And so good thing that Araxia called in because I forgot. So I will go ahead and agendize that for you all to consider. And then, so what they do is they work with, or actually, I'll allow Araxia, if you can just give a quick description of your organization and what you do. Araxia?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Christian. So PASA is the exclusive community-based organization for the LA Superior Court, and we receive referrals of diverted youth from the police department as well as the district attorney's office. In particular, because of COVID-19, we're hosting our Stop Hate and Delinquency by Empowering Students programming in partnership with the Museum of Tolerance virtually, and we're hoping to really tailor this year's programming to address issues of racism and hatred caused by the pandemic, and also educate students on the importance of social distancing. So that's kind of the gist. And if there's anything else you'd like me to expand on, Christian, I'm happy to do so.
Cool, Araxia. If you could just join us next week for our general board meeting when we discuss the item, that'd be appreciated.
I'd be happy to. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Cool. So that's something that we're going to put in our agenda, and I'll send you the neighborhood purpose grant application beforehand so that you can review it and have your comments ready. Okay.
Thank you again.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else? Star 9. You press star 9. All right. Cool. So we will move on. All right. So Andres, I think you, and if anyone else has anything, they can send it to me via email. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the next thing is discussion on setting the agenda for the May General Board meeting. This is just an opportunity outside of financial things that you can bring up that maybe you want to discuss. One of the things that I want board members, especially new board members, to start looking at is go on the LA City Council's page and start looking at it's called the Los Angeles Council File Management System. If you Google that, it'll take you to a place where you can track what is going on in the city of LA and what the city council is discussing. You may have to navigate a few things. I'll try to send some links out so that you can start looking at some legislation that's going through the city of Los Angeles. Because one of the unique things that neighborhood councils can do is submit community impact statements where whenever we want to voice our opinion to the city council, we have a direct line to the city council, and any reports that are included in the council file that we send are put on the desk of the council member. So they will read whatever report that we generate. In addition, whenever a neighborhood council submits a council file, a statement towards legislation in the city of Los Angeles, we are given 5 minutes to speak on that item. The general public at a city council meeting is allowed 1 minute, but when you identify that you're a neighborhood council representative and you've submitted your comment, then you have 5 minutes to really go deeper for the presentation. So hopefully you all can scan that and keep an eye on any legislation that you feel would benefit the Sylmar community. Okay, next thing, we're gonna talk about, oh, sorry, let me give people an opportunity if they have anything that they would like to see on the agenda for next week. And remember, *9 if you have a public comment, *9 on your phone. All right, I see Donald has his hand raised. Donald, go ahead.
Well, hi everyone. It's good to see you all digitally. We're doing a good job socially distancing right now. So I guess one thing that I want us to kind of think about as a group is we have a year left with this board, and we're navigating this crisis of sorts, and uncertain times. So I think we should consider what our committee structure should be moving forward. I know that I chair a committee. I know I have fellow committee chairs who are put a lot of work in, but I'm just wondering if the current structure we have really enables us to really address the needs of our community as they pertain to this pandemic. So I'm wondering if we should concert our efforts and kind of think about reforming and reshaping or merging committees in a new way so that we're focusing our efforts on very specific initiatives, right? For me personally, I think that we really want to support our local businesses. We want to make sure that services in our community remain unimpacted. We already have issues in the community where we feel that we're neglected by the city. So I think we really have to concert our efforts on how we advocate for that. And just kind of thinking about, does it make sense to have so many committees right now when we have very specific targets that we're aiming for? We don't want to lose our businesses and have this become an area that is very vacant and feels blighted in some ways. And we also don't want to become a place where it's purely corporate chains that are here. So I think it's something that we need to discuss as a group and come to a consensus and say, do we want to continue to function the way we do? So that's something I'd like for us to talk about a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. In order to guide the discussion, I would ask that you kind of write some sort of written kind of like document so that we can kind of reference and like an idea that you have. And then we can kind of shape and mold around that. So if you could just kind of draft something up, that'd be great.
Yeah, happy to do so. I think I have a general idea of how we can kind of align our efforts. I think some of the committees already work in different similar functions, for example, outreach, and some of the efforts align with public safety or some of our service-oriented committees, for example, equestrian, homeless services. Those are services, particular niches of our community that we want to make sure are adequately being recognized by the city, by the county, by the state. So I think that we kind of can align committees and really duplicate our efforts in very specific manners. So I'll give it a little more thought. I'll probably send it out before you send out the agenda, or 3 days before, because I think I have to get it to you. So I have a general recommendation.
Yeah, first, if you can just draft language to guide the discussion for the agenda itself, and then any supplements after that, you can send that after.
Sounds good.
Cool. Anybody else have anything that they'd like to discuss? All right. If not, we'll move on to, oh, wait. I believe Kathy is raising her hand.
Yeah, it says Amanda, but we'll fix that by next week. She uses this for her classes. Okay, I wanted to, the computer froze there for a little bit, but we got it back. And I wanted to respond to Andres's idea about the fire station. And if he meant specifically Fire Station 91, I'm not sure that we can give them anything. We would have to go through the foundation, and then it goes into a general, pot. And I don't think we can specify. We tried doing that with Diane when she was. Remember, we were going to give them exercise equipment, and we weren't allowed to do that. So unless things have changed, and things do change, then and I think Andres meant to give it specifically to our fire station, which makes sense.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. He
Yeah.
mentioned 91 specifically, and I think things have changed, especially with COVID. I know the
Okay.
policies are moving a lot.
Okay.
So, like I said, I think I saw Panorama City did something similar, where they were able to find a way to get it directly to some of the stations in their area. So
Okay.
hopefully I can talk to our funding person and try to figure out a good way to do that.
Okay.
Andres, you have your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. Actually, we've been working really diligently with Captain Kern, Captain Tolley, Captain Davis when he was there. They have a new battalion chief there, so we can actually move it now when it's earmarked specifically for Fire Station 91. Once we put it there, it does go to the first to the overall LA Foundation, but we can earmark it so that way we as a neighborhood council are giving that money for specifically for that Station 91. So it's been done before. So yes, that's I know I've heard in the past they couldn't do it, but I think now what's specific with COVID, we can direct those funds directly through to them.
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. Thanks for bringing it up, though. All right. Anyone else? If not, we will move on to neighborhood council logistics and operations. So we are considering ways on cutting costs. Obviously, we pay for an office space that I still think is very useful when, especially in emergency situations, if we need to have a site, a central location for something, we always can offer city, county, state, whatever level of government to use our facilities if they need it for staging areas or HQs, whatever. So I think that's a great benefit, especially during these emergency times. But one of the things that we were discussing was our minutes, or something that Bob Opperman brought up. I think there's ways where we can use this new platform where we're live streaming and we're posting things publicly and we're being more transparent with some closed captioning, or maybe download a transcript directly from our video recording and post it that way, instead of spending $200 a meeting to have someone write our minutes. So that's an idea that we're thinking about in terms of the executive committee and finding ways to cut costs. And other logistics, we're also not going to use our PO box anymore. We don't get a substantial amount of mail in the PO box, and we're just going to direct any mail to our office, so to save some money there. But other than that, logistics wise, we're probably going to be virtual for a while. I don't know when the city will allow gatherings again. And even in that case, we have an older population that attends our meetings sometimes, and we don't want to put people unnecessarily at risk. And to be honest, this virtual meeting platform is pretty convenient, because before we weren't allowed to have people call in because there was no policies to guide that. And now that the policies are there, in the future, we may be able to have someone call in order to make quorum. Because sometimes we need 11 people to vote on something. We have 10 people in the room, but we're missing one more. Now it might be easy to just do it on a phone call. So that's going to be very helpful. But does anyone have any questions about neighborhood council logistics or our operations or anything like that? Okay. Seeing none. Great. So thanks everyone for participating. It's 7:36. That was a pretty quick executive meeting. I'm going to draft the agenda and send it out to everyone tomorrow morning. But if anyone had any ideas or anything like that, send me an email right away so that I can include it in our agenda. All right. So we are good to go. Bye everyone on Facebook. Join us next week at our general board meeting. It's going to take place on May 28th at 6:30. So come and join us. Another thing, I feel like a radio host compared to our other the way I chair the meetings in person. So I have to do a lot of the talking. So, all right, everyone, you're all free to go. Thanks for joining us. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Well, that was great.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Bro, why do I feel like a freaking radio host?
Hold on.
Was this stress on you?
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah, Andres, that's a good idea, man. Let's just give it straight to the foundation. Let them do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. That way they can go